Welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Now today we do have a whiskey with the E. So without further ado, we have Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Now, this is the newer label that I have not got to try yet, but I have opened it. I have been sampling some, but for everyone that doesn't know, Rare Breed used to be my go-to. It was the value here in Australia. Let's say back in the day it was like $80. Now it's like $110 ish, so honestly, the value. But nowadays, seeing as 101 is $70, $80, it's the prices and the cost of living, everything's going up. So it's a bit harder to be able to afford to enjoy this on a daily basis. But anyways, that out of the way, we're going to get it open. Well, it's already open, but I'm going to review it for you. And then we are going to try some different experiments that I've been trying with it. I did add it into the blend, so we're going to pour some of that up as well. My apologies if the lighting's going to do a dark thing, because the light isn't going to last. But here we are. So exactly the same bottle shape. The only difference is with this newer label is this bottom label here is red. Now normally I'm a sucker for older labels, normally I would have gone to hunt down the older one to tuck away on the shelf, because that is now a dusty. It's going to be a hard label to find. People don't think about this, but years in the future it's going to be one of those ones where you're going to think, wow, that was one of my favorite Rare Breed releases that I used to enjoy a lot. But anyways, now for everyone who doesn't know, Rare Breed comes in at 116.8 proof, which is 58.4%. Alrighties, it'll say it right there. Now Rare Breed is a blend, so they do have 12-year-old juice in here. I believe there could be 8 years, there could be 6-year juice in there, maybe even 4 years, who knows. But we do know that there is 12-year-old Wild Turkey blended in there as well. So coming out of the Wild Turkey distillery, obviously owned by Paparia, I believe nowadays, isn't it? Don't quote me on that. Anyways, pause for the cork pop. Let's get it open. Alrighties. Okay. Let's pour some up. See, the lighting's doing its thing already. Here we go. Now, we should probably even grab a ice cube to even try it with the for the people. As for the folks who are not yet on their deep in their whiskey journey of enjoying bourbons neat without Coke or without ice cubes, this is going to be a hot one. So barrel proof, honestly, barrel proof, especially this release right here, holds up well with an ice cube. So normally you wouldn't want to add in an ice cube into under 50% product, because it will dilute it way too much. But for the Rare Breed, it's perfectly fine, all right. Okay. Color is considerably dark. I mean, considerably, as you can see here. Nice golden elixir of the gods. Oh my goodness. All right, look at that. Thick legs. You can see it all here building up. It's taking a while to drip. That means it's good. Now, for everyone that doesn't know, there is a non-chill filtered version of Rare Breed that you can find online possibly. It is more of a travel retail kind of exclusive, but I believe they're probably going for $140. So, is it worth the extra? That can be debated, but everyone is a sucker for non-chill filtered products. Not every release is non-chill filtered. Now, for everyone that doesn't know, non-chill filtered, it just means it hasn't been chill filtered. So chill filtration pretty much came in so that when you add in the ice cube, your whiskey doesn't go all murky, doesn't go all cloudy, and pretty much they just introduced it for aesthetics. But they say, it takes away the extra flavors, it strips away the oils and all that. So hence why a lot of the Scotch whiskey drinkers, if you are hunting for Scotch whiskey, you're generally going to be looking for 46% and up, and you're going to be looking for those little writings on the bottom of the label saying natural color, non-chill filtered. That's what everyone goes for. So, but in the bourbon world, it is all natural color. So, but this isn't chill filtered. There you go. At first I thought it was chill filtered long ago, but now we know. Rare Breed isn't chill filtered unless you get the NCF version, non-chill filtered, abbreviated. Alrighties, let's get right into it on the nose. Oh man, that is just wild turkey goodness. That is just wild turkey, unadulterated. If you enjoy your 101s and all that, you're gonna love your Rare Breeds. Honestly, that hint of vanilla, but the caramels, it's like the baking spices is all really predominant. I am picking up age in this, so you are getting like that leathery kind of old books, that cedar kind of cigar kind of note that you do pick up in more aged products. Obviously not as much as in the 12-year release, but you can tell that there is some 12-year-old juice in here. Yeah, but you can tell it's going to be a spicy one. You can nose that ethanol vibe there, but it's not that bad, guys. Honestly, it's everything you want in a bourbon. It's in this glass. You know what? Let's have a little sip. Here we go. Cheers, everyone. Who enjoys a Wild Turkey Rare Breed? Who loves the Wild Turkey Distillery? Jimmy and Eddie Russell, Bruce joining the team now, the grandson. Honestly, they do awesome things at Wild Turkey, and I can't get enough of them. Still need to get the Russells and all that. I haven't even seen any Russells 15, 13s, but I do enjoy the single barrels as well. Honestly, check them out. All right, you know what? Back to this. Here we go. Cheers, everyone. Oh. 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 Yep. Was starting to go a little bit tingly there, a little bit numbing, splushing it around. But as soon as you swallow it, oh my goodness, that sweetness. I mean, not overly sweet, but you are getting that caramel. That baking spice does come in there. It is, entwined with the high proof. So, if you're unexperienced sippers, you might think that it's a little bit burny, a little bit, stinging because of the high proof. But you do have to get acclimated to this, and you will get acclimated to it the more that you sip out of it. Now, you can always add in a drop of water to take away that bite, and we will experiment and we will do this. So, but before we do, let's have another sip, guys. Oh. Yep. 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 Ah, that is just goodness, guys. That is just goodness. Even a slight chocolate note there, but it is on the spicy side. So if everyone doesn't know, Wild Turkey is a bold and spicy bourbon. Alrighty, so you know it's not like a Buffalo Trace, more on the sweeter mash bill side of things. But anyways, we do have in here the Eagle Rare store pick plus all the other things that was in there, but we did top it up with some of this rare breed. So let's pour some up into this glass. Here we go. All right. Now, for everyone who doesn't know, I did not show you, but here we go. If you are ever curious of when your Wild Turkey Rare Breed was released, they do have a laser code back here. So you can kind of see it in the light. You just got to move the bottle around and you're going to see a little laser code that looks almost see-through. So for everyone that's curious, this is LL-MH061144, which is coming from well, I guess it's America, so it would be the 6th month of the 8th day, 2024. So this is the 2024 rare breed. There you go. All right. Alrighties. All right, look at this. Oh, hold on. You know what? Let's pour up some more rare breed and we'll compare them. Okay, here we go. Alrighties. Now it is essentially a little bit darker in the experimental blend that we have in the jar, but you know what? Let's give it a nose. Ah, there is more chocolatey notes in here. Yeah, the rare breed is just its own signature goodness of Wild Turkey. You know, that cinnamon, that's allspice kind of vibes, that clove. I mean, the vanilla's not very prominent, but it is that caramel, probably more heading towards like brown sugar kind of notes. And now we have a police helicopter flying above, so ignore that. Get to the chopper! Get to the chopper! Oh man. I guess I am picking up some of the rum element in here still. It is that that ester, that rum kind of funk of like a slight butterscotchy kind of note, more on the sweet side. But that wood has been overused now, so it is equivalent to like over 4th fill. So at this point we would want to take that wood out of the jar and toast up some fresh Australian red gum to soak in future batches. So we are definitely going to have to do that in the future, but before we do, let's give it a taste. Cheers everyone. So Wild Turkey Rare Breed with the Eagle Rare store pick coming out of barrel and batch. Here we go with the extras. Here we go. Cheers everyone. Definitely a lot more approachable, more light, more less bite-ish. Obviously the Eagle Rare was lower in proof, lower in strength alcohol, you know, so it's like we did tone it down, you know, kind of like adding in some water or adding in some ice cubes, but we mixed it with a lower strength bourbon, which is more sweet essentially. Buff Turkey. For everyone who doesn't know, there is a product out there called Buff Turkey. Back in the day, let's just say Wild Turkey got Buffalo Trace to contract distill them some product. Maybe they were, you know, doing some maintenance with their stills, something like this. So, you know, rumor has it that Buffalo Trace produced some wild turkey mash bill products, you know, the 75% corn, 12% rye, 10% malted barley. Don't quote me on that, I'm just going off the top of my head. Most folks would have written down some notes somewhere. Now, let's have another sip. So, anyways, but the buff turkey, I'm very intrigued. I would really love to try. Let me know in the comments if you have tried some of these buff turkeys. I know that Dark Arts has released a buff turkey that is like 16 years old. So, man, can you imagine that? That's just like a piece of history, guys. Like, a Buffalo Trace product, which is already sought after and everyone's already chasing Buffalo Trace products. But instead of being a Buffalo Trace mash bill, it is a wild turkey mash bill. So how awesome is that? We're nerding out. Mm. 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 We lost lighting. We lost light. I just went all dark. My apologies. Now, that blend, because of the wood has been overused, there is a little bit more. It's kind of like bitter oak. You know, it's not like sweet oak anymore. It's almost like the wood has been overused to the point where all the flavors have been drawn out of it. So then it's a little bit bitter slightly. You know, so that's when when you start to taste more and more whiskeys, you will eventually start to pick out these kind of things. You know, when you're trying certain scotches or stuff like this, you're gonna see that it's like, they use terrible cask, or you know, they use some real, you know, used cask, and it's already been overused. So it's not like fresh active cask that are drawing in and out the flavors from the wood. It's you know, it's already retired. They should just chuck out the barrel, essentially, is what we should have done with this already. So this Australian red gum in here, it's already been overused, and we should be taking it out to put in some fresh red gum, because it is going towards that bitter level. But my goodness, back to the wild turkey rare breed. Now we also have this blend bottle. Now I'm not going to go through the whole details of what is in this bottle because I can't remember myself, but if you guys have been following the journey and you've been watching some videos, you would probably know what's in here. Let's just say I did top it up with some light. I did top it up with some Wild Turkey 12 at some point. Then when the Eagle Rare 10-year store pick came, I topped it up with that. Then I did just add in some Wild Turkey Rare Breed in there. So, you know what? Let's pour up some of this. All right. Okay. Here we go. Blending experiments. Here we go. Honestly, I highly recommend everyone get into blending experiments because, you know, a lot of people nurse their bottles, you know. Light? It's almost like you don't want the bottle to be empty because then it's just going to be an empty bottle, you know. So then you don't really want to even drink it past halfway, or the bottle starts to look shit on your shelf. So, you know, and when it gets to that low point, people often nurse it to the point where you just got all these almost empty bottles on your shelf, which I don't normally do, because when it gets to a certain point, I'll be putting it into a blend, you know, before all that oxygen and, you know, starts to do its oxidational thing and flatten and make the whiskey go bad. Obviously, if it is a higher proof, you know, like barrel proof Wild Turkey Rare Breed, you know, it's still going to be good. It's still going to have all the flavors there, if not mellowed out and smoothed off for you. But let's try some of the blend, or let's compare some. Normal Rare Breed, blend. Oh man. Ooh, light. Where'd the light go? Yeah, I'll stay here. Here. Oh man, that is just goodness. you know, that extra Wild Turkey 12 year in there is gotten that extra age in there. You know, there's a more prominent chocolate note. Obviously your standard vanillas and caramels, but it's a lot more intense and more predominant. Whereas the standard rare breed, it's coming across more on the baking spice sides of things, you know, more that clove is shining through. Honestly, we're going past 20 minutes, so I'm going to have a sip, and you know what, we're going to go grab an ice cube and see how it goes on the rocks. But here we go, guys. Cheers, everyone. Get into your blends. Oh. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's just say, what was in this blend, I obviously extracted out the some stuff. Like, I obviously extracted out some stuff when it was more earlier in the jar. So I am getting a lot more Australian red gum element in there, which isn't coming across too bitter. You know, normally you're thinking the wood impact is going to part like a lot of tannins, a lot of tannic vibes, but I like it, to be honest. I know, a lot of you here are probably thinking, should be cleansing your palate after each time, but it's all good, guys. You get acclimated, but you can still taste the difference, alright? Man, that's good. You know what, I'm going to have another sip. Light. Yep, the Australian red gum, that finish. It's just sweet, bourbon, wild turkey goodness. You know, blend all sorts of beautiful jazz, and then boom, the spice, the Australian red gum elements all come in to be that long finish. That is awesome. But you know what? Let's have another sip of this rare breed, and then we are going to go grab an ice cube, and then I'll let you know how it goes with it. All right, here we go. Oh. You can't go wrong with a rare breed, guys. And you know what the good thing about barrel proof bourbon is? If you are not ready for higher strength bourbons, you do know that you can add in water to your bourbon. You know, if you're used to drinking your 40%, you know, offerings that have been proofed down, you can always pour up a glass, add in some water, and then bring it down to your desired proof level. So that's how you'll get to know your sweet spot. You know, at first you might start off with an ice cube, then eventually you're going to take away the ice cube, you're going to start adding in drops of water, and then you're going to start minimizing your drops of water. By the end of it, you're probably just adding in 1 drop of water, and then by the end of it, you're not even really adding in drops of water. But I do highly recommend you add in the drops of water to scotches. You know, it does take away that ethanol note, and it does open it up to release some more flavors and notes that you won't necessarily get when it is still at a higher proof. But oh yeah, now we got planes and we got drums going, but the show must go on. But you know what, let's go grab an ice cube. We'll be back in a second. And we're back with ice cubes, so let's grab one out. 1 ice cube. Pause for the cork pop. There we go. Alrighties. Now, for everyone that enjoys your bourbon and cokes, I'm assuming the rare breed will hold the coke up really well. You're definitely gonna get that lovely potency, the bourbon flavor shining through your coke. But hence why I say I'm still confused about how I used to feel when I was drinking bourbon and coke. Did I want to taste the bourbon? Was it a particular flavor that I was going for? Like, that is a good mix of bourbon and coke. Or were we just trying to taste the coke and not the burn of the alcohol or the flavors of the bourbon or something? You know, so, you know, it's kind of like vodka drinkers. You don't want to taste the ethanol or the shitty hand sanitizer flavors, so then you want to mix it with orange or raspberry or lemonade, you know. So hence why I say it's like, are we trying to taste the alcohol with the mix, or are we just trying to cover up the crappy, you know, flavors of ethanol? But when you're drinking good bourbon, you're not trying to cover up the flavors of the bourbon. So then essentially it's more like you want it to entwine together. You know, like, does it make a good combo with the bourbon and coke? Or does it make a good combo with the rum and the coke, or this and that, you know? But rare breed with an ice cube, I mean, a lot of people will probably tell you that the Wild Turkey rare breed holds up very well with an ice cube. Now look at this. Now you are getting a slight mist. Now if it was just water, and if this was scotch, they would be calling it a scotch mist. So it's kind of like when a mist kind of appears in your glass once you've added in some water. That's essentially what I'm starting to get here with the ice cube. There you go. See, look, the more I'm doing this, the more that ice cube is melting, the more it is diluting. Hence why I say mixing in with an ice cube doesn't normally work well if you are going for something that is under 50%. So you want to go for something that is barrel proof. All right, here we go. All right, it's Wild Turkey rare breed on the rocks. Cheers, everyone. Who enjoys a Wild Turkey rare breed on the rocks? Let me know in the comments. Cheers, everyone. Oh, all the flavors are still there, but the liquid is cold. It doesn't burn. It is sweet. It is refreshing. Ah. On the nose, the baking spices, the more darker notes of that clove, and the you know, the more leathery cigar notes, it's kind of faded off. It's coming across a lot more like lighter now, like the vanillas is coming out. Honestly, I have not had a Wild Turkey rare breed on the rocks for so long. If you have a Wild Turkey rare breed on your shelf right now and you normally enjoy it neat, go grab an ice cube. It's a bit of a change, it's a bit of a difference, but it's a refreshing difference. There you go. Oh man. Oh, that is good. That is good, guys. No burn, no bite. It's just Wild Turkey awesomeness. Sweet. Obviously not sweet like you're drinking candy, but you know what I mean? You are picking out the sweet. It's not offensive in any way. You can just, that is dangerous. This is dangerous, guys. You can be sipping this all afternoon, guys, and you know what? It's something that I'm going to be doing, alrighties? So maybe I will come back and actually just go live, and we are going to be lighting up a Romeo y Julieta #1, enjoying it with this rare breed. And you know what, so tune in for the live stream. If I'm not going to make a video, I'll end up just going live. So much love to you all. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you enjoy wild turkey products. Honestly, you know what, I'm going to add in, because it's right here, some of the Eagle Rare store pick from Barrel and Batch. There you go. Pause for the cool pop. Oh. Let's add in a splash. Alrighties. Alright. Woo, we're going past 30 minutes. Whose attention span's gonna go on for this long? But for everyone that is still watching till this point, you are loved and you are appreciated. You know, I appreciate all yous, right? Because I don't get paid for this, and this is just me sharing my journey, sharing my experience. And for everyone that's been following me on my journey, you're all appreciated, you're all loved. Much love to yous. All right, here we go. Wild Turkey Rare Breed blended with the Eagle Rare 10-year store pick from Barrel and Batch on the rocks. Here we go. Oh, more chocolate came out. I mean, I know this store pick is called Chocolate Fantails, but man, I did not expect that. Man, that's alright, isn't it? You know what? It is going a little bit cloudy. So, dude, I mean, maybe it's slightly filtered. I don't know. Is a Wild Turkey Rare Breed filtered? Because see how the liquid is not clear anymore, guys. It's cloudy, alright? It's murky. It's, you know, it looks like it's got shit floating in it. So that essentially happens when product is non-chill filtered, alright? Hence why, you know, back in the day they introduced the whole chill filtration process, is to take away that whole, you know, maybe the passive consumer adds an ice cube into their drink and they're like, why is me whiskey going all cloudy and murky? So then the scientists in the world are probably like, oh yes, we'll chill filtration our process. We'll add in that process and it'll take away that. But like I said, essentially it just takes away the essential esters and oils, that extra flavors that you want. You know what I mean? You want it as natural as can be. So hence why I say, drink barrel proof, drink cask strength. You're gonna get a unadulterated, unfiltered, unchanged version of it. You know what I mean? Every time you're going to buy something that is 40%, that's you getting a bottle that they've added in plenty of water for you, and you're not getting the full experience. So, and if you're not ready for barrel proof, you can always just add in your own water. Why not? Don't need someone else to add in the water for you. But honestly, that is awesome. I'm going to be repeating myself now. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell notification to catch me on the next one. I think I am going to go live because I do have to go soon. But much love to you all. Cheers, everyone. Drink responsibly and don't drink and drive, especially if it's barrel proof. Wild Turkey Rare Breed. It's like the liquid is cold. It doesn't burn. It's not hot. It doesn't sting. It's not spicy. But all the flavor's still there. And that's what I mean, guys. Rare Breed doesn't get diluted too much. All the flavors of the bourbon is still there. It holds an ice cube well. There you go. I'm going to be repeating myself. I'll catch you all on the next one. Later.